Joining me now from Geneva is the Bangladeshi Foreign Minister, Dipu Moni. Now, there is a lot of anger that we can see in Bangladesh concerning this particular collapse, but also concerning a lot of the other accidents that have involved the garment industry. How much responsibility should the government share in many of these accidents?
Thank you. You see, the horrific tragedy that just happened a few days ago, and the government has been taking all the necessary actions, including the rescue work and now the treatment and rehabilitation of the injured and
also
Moni,
burial
we're not
of
just
the talking
dead.
About this particular
everything
accident
is being
now,
done.
We're also talking about previous incidences in which buildings have collapsed, in which garment workers have had to deal with substandard labor standards. Now, why isn't the government doing anything about it?
You see, the government in the past 4 years, the present government led by Sheikh Hasina, has been taking all initiatives, and we have been working on improving labor standards. We have been working on improving safety conditions in workplaces, and we have been doing it also in collaboration with the owners of the factories, with the labor organizations, with the international organizations, and you must understand here one point, that is the culture of impunity that had prevailed in the country for many decades, and because of that, many people, including owners of buildings and including owners of factories, they probably felt that they didn't need to comply with the laws, with the standards, with the building codes. But since our government came to office, we have been taking very stern action against people who have not been complying with law, and we have been working with all the stakeholders in improving these conditions. And as
I want to take you up on that particular point about the issue of the culture of impunity. Now, one of Al Jazeera's Twitter followers did send in a particular question about this issue. Faisal asks, when are they, and this is the government that this Faisal is referring to, when is the government going to start spending money on health and safety in Bangladesh instead of pocketing it for themselves? How much is corruption a problem in Bangladesh when it comes to trying to improve standards or labor standards?
Well, I would say that under this government, the level of corruption has gone down considerably, significantly, because of all the layers of actions, layers of initiatives that we have taken, starting from the parliamentary oversight to having a very active, responsive judiciary, having a completely independent media, our anti-corruption commission becoming very strong now, and the National Human Rights Commission, Information Commission, having all these institutional framework and having them very active. We now have, and also we have formulated the national integrity policy as well. And through all these measures, the corruption has come down considerably. But like anywhere else in the world, these things, these problems cannot be solved overnight. And this government has been acting very intensively in these areas, especially in governance, in rule of law, in human rights, and especially focusing on labor rights. And that is why we now find that the compliance level has gone up considerably. Still,
has it though? The question, has it really, has the compliance level actually improved?
Which are outside
we do know that Sohail Rana, the owner of this particular building that collapsed on Wednesday, we do know that he is politically connected. We do know he is extremely wealthy. We do know that he's been able to get away with many things. Now, being politically connected in Bangladesh also means that you will escape any form of conviction. So really, is the culture of impunity still in existence in Bangladesh?
The culture of impunity that I was talking about, the culture of impunity that I was talking about is now a thing of the past because of the government's active initiative in this sector. for ending impunity. It's not just bringing the killers of 1971 to books, not just bringing the killers of 1975 to justice, but also ending this culture of impunity in every sector. And that is why in the past 4 years, whoever it is, whoever has done any wrong or violated any laws, whatever kind of connection he or she may have with any kind of political power, it didn't matter. And with this case also, the owner of the building, he has been arrested and he will be taken to justice. And anybody, I reiterate, anybody involved in this tragedy or any such tragedy, if there is any kind of negligence, any kind of violation of law that is proved, he or she, whoever that may be, will be taken to task, because this government is exercising zero tolerance to this.
All right, we will hold you to that, and no doubt a lot of Bangladeshis will also hold you to that very bold statement. And one question I do want to ask is, why did the Bangladeshi government under Sheikh Hasina, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, why did you refuse international help from emergency services to help with the search and rescue of under this collapse?
You see, until 4 years ago, we didn't have the necessary equipments or training to do something like this. But after one incident in one of the high-rise buildings and some other incidents, our government took initiative and we equipped our fire service department, civil defense department, and we saw, I mean, when we were already underway with this rescue work, probably we couldn't wait for others to come in, and we had to do the best that we can. And it has been proved that from this terrible accident, we now have more than 2,500 survivors who have been rescued by our rescuers, by our forces who have been working in this area relentlessly for over all these nights, throughout nights and days. And this has been supervised not just by the relevant authorities, but also completely supervised round the clock by the Prime Minister herself. And as a result, the monitoring work, I mean, we have done, I think, quite a good job. And though we have lost so many, but the fact that we have now more than 2,500 survivors does say that the work was done very efficiently and very professionally.
Ms. Moni, thank you for speaking with us. Bangladesh's Foreign Minister there, Dipu Moni.
Thank you.